Other songs of the Cordy Cortez song entitled Lord, Do It. Do it for me. You don't do it, Lord, it just won't be done. Well, remember the quote by Winnie the Pooh, promised me to always remember. You're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. Here's Michael Boykins blessing me. Charles Lindsay, Keith Lewis, Judy Lewis, them three girls, Muffin and Cupcake.
I went to school with old Charles Lindsay, boy.
Come on, boy, that boy.
Boy was something else. Lindsay boy. I just spoil him now with that.
Mr. Avery Joseph Sr., he's blessing me. Uncle Jesse Brooks, Aunt Annie Johnson, good morning to you. He's blessing me. Yeah. He's blessing me. He's blessing me. Yeah. He's blessing me. I said, Jesus, yeah, Jesus. I said, Jesus, yeah, Jesus. I said, Jesus, yeah, Jesus. He's blessing me. Yeah. Right now. Jesus, yeah. Blessing me. Yeah, somebody. Yeah. He's blessing you. Let me say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Hey, Jesus. How many of y'all know He's blessing you? He's blessing me. If you look all around, you can tell Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Look at it, look at it. Hey, God gonna make me happy. Look at Jesus all around you. Every day of your life, you tell the Lord, you won't get up this morning. And it's not ready? All right.
Hi fans, this is your favorite actor. When I am in the Lafayette area, I listen to the Open Line radio show with Sister Kadisha and Brother Jay. Heard exclusively on KIEE 88.3. Your superstation
we want to remind
for
you
South
that the Open
Louisiana.
Line radio show is powered by Finders Keepers, 1006 Surrey Street, Lafayette. The Open Line radio show is heard exclusively from 9 to 11 a.m. every Wednesday on your community superstation for South Louisiana, KIEE 88.3.
The Open Line radio show is supported in part by Finders Keepers, the place with your residential hardware needs, small engines, outdoor power equipment, bathroom accessories, electronics, lighting, plumbing and everything in between. Located in the Southern Development Office Building, at 1006 Surrey Street, Lafayette. Telephone 337-780-8149. That's Finders Keepers.
You are now tuned into my man, Brother Jay and our conscious sister, bringing the people the knowledge on the Open Line radio show on 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana.
You are rolling with the Open Line radio show, heard exclusively on KIEE 88.3 FM, your superstation for South Louisiana.
KIEE, the Louisiana Superstation, presents the community's #1 radio talk show, The Open Line. If you have an open mind.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Open Line. I'm Brother Jay. I'll be here with my co-host, Sister Khadijah. Stay tuned and relax for the Open Line on KIEE 88.3, your superstation. Welcome to the Open Line on KIEE 88.3, your superstation. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of KIEE 88.3 staff or management. Thanks for listening.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. You're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman. When my soul was in the lost and found, you came along to claim it. I didn't know just what was wrong with me till your kiss helped me name it. Now I'm no longer doubtful of what I'm living for.
Hotep Habarigani or Assalamu alaikum. I'm your conscious sister. I'm your conscious sister, Sifrayen, and we are live. Oh, the new number. The new number is 337-534-0047. 337-534-0047. That's the new number. I know I was having some problems with the line calling left and right, and again, it's another beautiful morning. We want to thank everybody that done really good in the semi-storm, the bad weather from last night. School was closed. One thing for sure is that the Department of Justice had to cancel their town hall meeting yesterday, which was going to be held in Lafayette at 124 South Buchanan Street, the convention center. We want to thank them that they reschedule. We don't know when they're going to reschedule, but then whenever they do, we're going to go ahead and just send out the message, because people, you need to be able to come somewhere where you know any type of atrocities that have happened to you, dealing with the state police, the police department, 16 JDC, 15 JDC, anything that has happened. We need to be able to tell our story. Our only weapon is our tongue and our intellect. We need to be able to tell our story. They had to cancel, which was good, really good that they canceled. However, they're going to make sure that they get back in touch with us when they're going to reopen it again. Brother Jay?
Yeah, good morning, South Louisiana. Welcome to another edition of the Open Line Radio Show. As Sister Khadijah stated, there's a temporary, I don't know if it's a temporary number, but it's a number given because of the phone line having some issues. So that number Khadijah mentioned, Sister Khadijah mentioned, she will continuously mention it. That's the number you should call in if you're not getting through. So, Sister Khadijah, I also want to send our deepest condolences to the family of longtime community activist and civil rights leader, Mr. Joe Dennis.
Yes.
Everybody knows Mr. Dennis' history in the community for many years, and I remember him coming to the old KJCB 77 AM with Miss Janelle Shagwell when I started off doing some of the radio shows over there. So we definitely want to send our deepest condolences, and people, and go and study the history of older civil rights leaders and the work they've done in the community, and people, let that be an example how to be involved in your community. Again, Mr. Joe Dennis, deepest condolences. Also, Sister Khadijah, condolences to the young man. The mother was on local TV last night. The mother, and we won't give our condolences to her, and I understand her hurt and her, her turmoil she's going through. But this is another example. I would say, people, and I understand when you're grieving, but we got to be clear. We got to try to mitigate this before it happened, because, it getting to be more and more like the radio interviews, TV interviews, whether I'm talking about Sister Khadijah or the local media is talking about a killing, it's almost like a consolation prize. It's all you get. The person is deceased. The person is dead. A T-shirt is a consolation prize, a balloon release, a rally. That does not bring the person back. But what can happen, use that for example to tell someone, if you're thinking about going out there and doing some damage to some other family, that is so wrong. That hurts everybody in the community.
Yes,
and it's hurting to see this mother on television. And again, our deepest condolences.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I also wanted to say that there also was another activist that we wound up losing out of Opelousas. Reverend Raymond Brown.
Mr. Joe Lawrence. Mr. Joe Lawrence, Bill Platt, church parent.
You're right.
Mr. Joe Lawrence.
Mr. Joe Lawrence.
Used to be a part of Black Man 7. With the late great George Fisher, who used to be at this station. George taught me a lot. Also, another mentor. And I recall the time when we brought Sister Key. You remember we all brought all the activists involved. Reverend Sharpton to St. Martinville, Louisiana, and Joe Lawrence was part of Black Man 7. and
Right.
supporting us and all those years.
All
so
those years.
all those
Yeah,
years.
so we definitely want
Mr. Joe Lawrence. Yeah.
Joe Lawrence, and really, in this time of turmoil, where we going through, what we going through, we want to say, happiness is one thing, sadness is another. When you lose a loved one, there can be really no more sense of happiness. But we would like to say this to all of these so-called semi-little gangsters, that how do you kill somebody that haven't done you anything? Or even if I bump you, or I may have, from what I understand, mugging is a sense where you're looking down on somebody, or whatever the deal is. They done took the real definition of mugging away. If I did that, I apologize for doing it. I apologize to all of those that maybe didn't even realize that they had done this to you. But to just go out and just shoot up the entire house, go out and just shoot up people, it doesn't bring more hair on your chest. It doesn't make you walk with that special kind of hump that you think you deserve. All it is just a coward. It's just a coward to just kill somebody just to be killing, to be raping somebody just to be raping. Something is definitely wrong up there. And I just wanted to say that no matter where we at, where we are, there are real places for people that feel they need to just continue to kill up on their race. And then, Brother Jay, we've been having all of these weapons at these different dance hall. They shooting up Asian Americans, getting shoot up. I mean, blacks have been shot up for such a long time, but it just goes to show you that some of the things that you may have done to someone in the past that you didn't think was about anything, well, they're taking that serious. They're taking that serious. And I'm just lost. All I am, I'm just lost, because every day, every time we on the radio, we talking about show respect, show love, be kind to somebody, just do the right thing and everything. I think we have our one and only Attorney Dua.
No, she's not in right now, but we have a special treat fresh off of the Radio 1 Carl Nelson show. Oh. I heard these activists yesterday on the Carl Nelson show, because our good friend, Mr. Carl Cavalier, a former Louisiana State Police officer who we had a number of times on our show here in Lafayette and on television. Well, he was with a group on the Carl Nelson show. Mr. Robert Burns of a blog that everyone should start paying attention to what Mr. Robert Burns published, Sound Off Louisiana, and Miss Belinda. I think Miss Belinda Parker Brown, yes, a longtime activist out of New Orleans with the group, I think, Louisiana United. Some interesting information that they were giving to the public concerning the Ronald Green case, the Carl Cavalier issue. And I say we got to get them on, because, we were supposed to have the Justice Department, DOJ,
yes,
with the Ronald Green case last.
Right,
and I thought that would be timely situation for the audience here in Lafayette, who's very abreast of the Ronald Green case here in Lafayette. Welcome, Mr. Burns and Ms. Belinda Parker Brown.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning.
Yes, indeed. It's ideal.
Good morning. We certainly appreciate you all for having us on today. Thank you so much.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. I heard you guys on Carl Nelson, when everybody should wake up to Carl Nelson. When they're not listening to this good station, they should listen to Carl Nelson. And having you guys on, I was so proud for my good friend Carl Nelson to have you guys on. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
You want to start, Sister Belinda?
Yes, certainly, Robert. I'll start. First of all, I want the whole world to know that the house is burning here in the state of Louisiana, and we're one of the most powerful organizations working very closely with Sound Off Louisiana, Robert Burns blog. And by us being a civil, constitutional, human rights organization, we have to focus on this type of injustice. You know, here in Louisiana, Katrina told the real story about how bad people are being treated here. But the Ronald Green case have taken it to a whole nother level. You know, when we got, you know, from, you know, high-ranking officials, you know, lieutenants, captains, majors, from the governor's office on down that would cover up the death of Ronald Green that was videoed.
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead, sister.
So go ahead, Robert.
And I'll just add in, there have been quite a few twists and turns that the whole matter has taken since then. And of course, as y'all are familiar with, Carl Cavalier went ahead and took a huge risk.
Yes.
Former State Trooper Carl Cavalier took a huge risk in basically exposing a lot of this.
That's right.
And he paid the ultimate price in terms of job security, i.e. they fired him. And he is presently both trying to pursue getting his job back by way of the Louisiana State Police Commission, and also has filed a federal civil lawsuit. The lawsuit right now, I'll just quickly try to bring everyone up to speed on where it stands. They decided to, well, first of all, Trooper Cavalier was supposed to have a hearing in May of last year to get his job back.
All right.
We all showed up. There were probably 14 witnesses called who did show up. I'm sorry, subpoenaed, who did show up. Unfortunately, the former top brass of LSP, namely Kevin Reeves and Major Turner, they opted to dishonor the subpoenas. They just decided not to show up.
Wow.
And so it had to be canceled. Now, in my opinion, this is what happened. CNN was there. I stood right beside them. I have a little bitty camcorder for my blog. They had a huge, gigantic camera, obviously, for a major network like CNN. And it's my belief that they made a determination that, hey, this could wind up going much more publicity than we ever wanted from all this. And so it was soon after that they offered Carl Cavalier $200,000 to just go away.
You know,
Carl was very reluctant to accept that, and he recorded his phone calls with his then attorney, Jill Kraft. But apparently either the court or Kraft or somebody insisted upon having a settlement conference on October the 6th. And it was at that point that Carl essentially felt like, I'm not going to have counsel. She was saying, look, it doesn't get any better than this, Carl. This is one of the highest offers I've ever gotten. You've got to take this, because she said, if we have problems and have to appeal this to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and I'm quoting her now, she said, they have stacked that Fifth Circuit with judges that don't give a S, trying to protect your license, don't give an S about civil rights. She also said she didn't trust the State Police Commission at all. And she told him, if you go forward with trying to get your job back and they say your termination was justified, well, that's going to kill your civil case. So you don't want to flush $200,000 down the toilet. Now, those are also her words.
Jill Kraft. I've heard her name before.
Oh, she's very prominent. She's the most she's the most knowledgeable attorney in Louisiana.
Yeah. We don't want to say too much about her, Robert.
But at any rate, she was very adamant that he needed to accept the $200,000, and when he said no, I'm not gonna take it. She withdrew as his counsel. He procured new counsel, and they have filed a motion to reopen the cause and let him have his hearing before the State Police Commission. Meanwhile, State Police has said, no, we have a binding and enforceable contract. You've got to take this $200,000 and go along your merry way, and you can never work for State Police again. So I'm sorry I took a little time, but that brought you up to speed on the current state of the civil litigation.
That's what I thought I heard on Carl Nelson. That's what I thought I heard, and that's why I say it's so important that the listening audience in the Lafayette area hears this.
Right.
Because, you know, we got some movers and shakers in the Lafayette area that served in government, and some of them members of the Black Caucus, and they need to hear this.
Mm-hmm. Well, Brother Jay, they certainly do need to hear it, because they need to hear that when we have good officers out there like Carl Cavalier that did everything right, you know, he uphold his oath to serve and protect the people. And when he witnessed the cover up, because that's what this is really all about. You know, he witnessed the cover up and he refused, he didn't even hesitate to say, this is wrong, and these officers need to be held accountable, because he didn't want those type of officers to be his constituent that was a bunch of trash. They was toxic. They were, you know, dead, rude, rogue officers that did not deserve to be a part of our law enforcement here in the state of Louisiana. And Carl didn't hesitate to expose them, what they were trying to cover up in the Ronald Green's death. So good officers like Carl Cavalier, we have to stand up and protect him and stand up and fight for him to get the justice that he deserves. It's wrong what they're doing to him.
Yes, it actually is. Yes, it actually is. We had him on the Community Defender TV show. We had him on the Community Defender TV show, and and it was an outstanding program. Not only that, but we purchased several of his books, Brother Jay.
Mm-hmm.
We purchased his book, and he could remember everything like it was just yesterday, and he's precise. You know, he want them exposed, and like he said, he risked his family, he risked his livelihood, but he's a man. That's what,
yes.
And a man take care of his family, and a man do what is the right thing to do.
Well, he stood up for all of us. You know, I want to say, Brother Jay, that if it had not been for Carl Cavalier,
that's right.
You know, just like in the Ronald Green, if that 9-year-old girl had not videotaped that incident, then we would never know what happened to George Floyd. And if Carl Cavalier had not exposed this corruption in the Louisiana State Police Department, we would never know what happened to Ronald Green. We wouldn't know nothing about the cover-up, that's for sure. We know that Ronald Green was murdered. We know that they lied about how he was murdered, and, from the governor's office on down. So what we appreciate about Carl Cavalier is that he didn't only put his life on the line, he put his family, just like you just said, but he also protected us as citizens, because how many other accidents like this have happened where there was nobody there? You know, back in these woods here in Louisiana, you know, you got all of these, dilapidated police stations and courtrooms and stuff. We never know what happened. We don't know how many times incidents like this took place that we don't know nothing about.
That's right.
You're listening to Mr. Robert Burns of Sound Off, Louisiana, and our very strong activist out of New Orleans, Miss Melinda Parker Brown. I'm so happy to have you guys on. Listen, one of the things I want to ask about, the let's say prominent organizations, not to throw anybody necessarily under the bus, but how much support has you got, what you are doing out there on a statewide level as far as national prominence groups getting involved and making this a big, big issue that we should all be worried about? How much support have you gotten?
I want to say to that, here in Louisiana, they call it the home-cooked meal. And that means what goes on here stays here.
Home-cooked meal.
And it has been very difficult to get any type of national attention. Carl Cavalier should be on MSNBC, CNN, ABC. you know, the whole world should be, you know, viewing him and allowing him to tell his story. But none of that has happened. You know, we got Don Lemon and Baton Rouge. You know, I haven't seen Carl on his show. You know, from the state NAACP on down to all these other, you know, national known organizations. I don't see no, Carl Cavalier have not raised $1 million to, you know, to protect him and his family and secure, you know, with resources and stuff for his attorney. But when bad officers do something, they can raise $2 million in one day. But here we go, we have a good officer like Carl Cavalier, and he is struggling on a GoFundMe trying to protect his family, you know, secure his family and his attorney. You know, this is wrong. You know, the whole world needs to step up and protect a good officer. You know, we cry and we whine about bad police officers, and here we go, we got a good police officer, and there's no public outcry.
And if I could, I'd like to just add one thing. I think one of the most stunned incidences with Carl Nelson's show earlier, well, actually only yesterday, was he asked the question, or I'm sorry, a question was tweeted in asking about the Legislative Black Caucus and had they had any reaction to this. And I responded that when the video got made public by way of the Associated Press, and it was leaked. It had to be leaked to the Associated Press, and then they published it. The Legislative Black Caucus did insist upon a closed-door meeting with Governor Edwards. And I'm told that that meeting got quite heated, but in the end, Vincent Pierre, the chairman of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, stated that they were willing to accept Governor Edwards at his word, that he only knew what had been initially sent in that text and did not know the gravity of the situation, actually until, by his own words, he says when he read the feature that I broke on September the 10th of 2020 about the incident. So he was taken, he being Carl Nelson, was taken aback by that and said, you know what, we need to go to a break and I've got to get some water because I've got a tough time taking that. He said, does anybody down there even have a spine? That was his question back to us. So,
wow. That is troubling to be on, and to hear it on national radio, Carl Nelson show. Like I say, I appreciate the brother. To the response in Louisiana, I mean, there are activists who do care, such as Miss Brown and yourself, Mr. Burns, and out here, Sister Khadijah, and all in the groups who've been following the case. But the resources to get a story out there and to the movement on the story. For instance, with the Victor White case, we were part of in South Louisiana, if familiar with the handcuffed death of a young man. It was hard to get it on a national level before it got to MSNBC, and a reporter I exchanged email with Hannah Rapley. And the thing with Sister Khadijah and I, we're not afraid to talk about the truth when things go on in a negative manner. But you can't say that for others. It's like a system to control what you put out, whatever media platform you're on. And that's the problem, Miss Sister Brown, getting on platforms where you can make an impact on the situation. That's the problem here in Louisiana with all these very horrendous cases that are going on.
Absolutely. And, you know, the mainstream media here in Louisiana, you know, I believe, you know, Chris Locomotive with
Channel 2.
I think Channel 2.
WBRZ.
You know, right, he was covering this story. But, you know, when there was some stuff that was being uncovered, I believe that it's people like him that was catching tails, you know, and you know, to cover these type of stories from some type of, you know, backlash or whatever, you know. And the same thing, there's so many stories that we have tried to get out as grassroots activists with no resources, and the media won't cover the stories. because Gina Smith, and I don't know if you remember her or not with the Channel 6 News.
Yeah.
She said, Belinda, I'm catching hell. I can't come back to St. Tammany and cover, you anymore because, I'm going to lose my job. That girl told me that out of her mouth,
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
And really, this is Louisiana at some of its finest. Louisiana is one of the most racist state in existence, but it's our state, and it's up to us to air their dirty laundry and speak forceful to it. Even when you look at the district attorneys, even when you look at the DAs in the state, the sheriffs in the state of Louisiana, out of 64 sheriffs in the state of Louisiana, 60 are white and 4 is black. That sends that sends a message completely around the world. That's why these no good sheriffs, such as corrupt sheriffs, such as Louis Ackle, can continue to get away with what they done when it came down to Reverend Victor White Jr., Lil Vic, being handcuffed and killed and shot behind with handcuffs behind his back. They get away with murder because we don't have no mechanism to go to. When you look at the coroner, the district attorney, the sheriff, there's nobody more powerful in the state of Louisiana than them, and that's not right.
Yeah. You are absolutely right, and that's another whole show all by itself. But where we're at right now with the Ronald Green murder that was caught on video, and Carl Cavalier, the officer that blew the whistle on the cover-up, it just come a time, when we as a community, we as a people, we have to declare and demand that we just not going to tolerate this. So, when we say that it was covered up from the governor's office on down, Robert can tell you how the governor bragged and boast about his, go ahead, Robert, tell them how he bragged and boast, in public, in national news about his family.
Well, you're correct, and you made an excellent point. A number of sheriffs, including Louis Ackle, they originated as state police troopers.
Yes.
Beckett Bros, same thing. There are a number of sheriffs across the state who previously were with state police. And the Louisiana Sheriff's Association, it controls state police, period. And it has for a long time. And to Sister Belinda's point, Governor Edwards has openly touted, he says, and I'm quoting him, I am the brother of a sheriff, I am the son of a sheriff, I am the grandson of a sheriff, and I am the great-grandson of a sheriff. So if anyone is believing that Governor Edwards is going to buck the Sheriff's Association or what they say needs to be done, it's living in a dream world. It's not going to happen.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Burns, and not to interrupt you, or segue into something so much connected to what the United States Department of Justice conducting a series of town hall meetings to examine the pattern and practice, right? Going to each community. They were supposed to schedule in Lafayette last night. They did one at Dillard. We were down there in Dillard. We covered that. So that's to say, as they go on and they complete this, what will you, in your opinion, being what you do, what will come out of this? Will it be something positive for the state of Louisiana, or would it be the same old status quo?
You mean what will come out of the pattern and practice investigation?
Yes. What you think they will do?
It's difficult to have a knowledge base to draw on because this hasn't been done on a statewide level in over 20 years.
Wow.
So therefore, it's not like I can easily say, well, based on what happened here, we can predict. I mean, we're in uncharted waters. I would hope. Let me just say this. If they are thorough and they do their job, there needs to be significant reform measures put in place for Louisiana State Police. I don't know any other way to say it.
And is the political wind blowing the way they go? I mean, we might have a change of president, and we might not have no town hall. You know what I'm saying? It's a political thing also, because we know this administration is much more friendly as far as issues in the community. For now, you know, things change in the Justice Department.
Well, I'll defer to Sister Belinda on that. Go ahead, Belinda.
Yeah, I like to speak to that, Brother Jay.
Yes.
You see, you know, this is what I want the whole world to know. And again, I appreciate the Carl Nelson show, and you know, you being good friends with Carl Nelson and giving us this opportunity to have our voices heard. But most importantly, you know, we got to stop letting this dumb us down.
Yeah.
Okay? And the people have to realize that in this situation with Ronald Green, it was a cover-up from high-ranking officials, from the governor's office on down. These people, I say cover up corrupt politicians. You know, it's time to stop the corruption and hold these people accountable. You know, we keep on wanting to have, you know, we're going to study this, and we're going to revisit this, and we're going to have a forum for this, and we're going to spend a lot of money on trying to get, you know, I guess, you know, statistics on what's this and what's that. It's time out for it, okay? We know the situation. We know the problem. We need the solution now. We need the people that was involved in the cover-up for Ronald Green's death, the officers that murdered him on video. We need these people locked up and for them to go away. They need to be held accountable. They need to be put in prison for what they did. Every single person that had anything to do with Ronald Green's death that lied, that lied to his family, okay, about he died in some type of car crash when they know they had beat him to death. I'm talking about the ambulance services that did not even you know, try to do any type of resuscitation for him, trying to handcuff a dead man to a gurney. Everybody should be responsible. You know, that's what it's time to do. You know, I'm sick and tired of going to these meetings for them to do a study and get everybody all this talking and meeting, and ain't nobody being held accountable for what they already know is wrong. Now, don't dumb me down. That's the problem now. We done spent a lot of money on researches and studies, you know, on all of this foolishness, while we letting the criminals, you know, set up in their mansions and in their yachts and going about their business, spending our, you know, abusing our taxpayers' money, while we trying to figure out what's going on. We ain't got to figure out what's going on. We know what's going on. We know that the governor he was conspired and conspired in a cover-up. He was complicit in a cover-up. The governor. And I voted for it.
Yes, you're listening to the Open Line Radio Show. We have on the line Miss Melinda Parker Brown, community activist, a strong sister. I'm listening to her, and I'm hoping she inspired the listening audience out there, and Mr. Robert Burns of Sound Off, Louisiana. He has some interesting blogs on his website.
Well, I also attended a meeting from the Black Caucus. Caller, you on?
Oh, we got a caller on. You guys don't mind taking a call?
All right, yeah. We're having trouble with the phone line. You have to reach us at 337-534-0047. Caller, you're on.
Yes, I want to commend y'all, too, for telling it how it is, ma'am. And look, y'all forgot to tell John Bell Edwards, his superintendent, that he approved of Kevin Reeve, sent him the text that night that they killed Ronald Green. So let's not let John Bell Edwards off the hook, because you know he's going to be out of office, and that's why they're playing the wait game. And let's not forget this dumbfounded Lamar Davis, who they hired to fire the Carl Cavalier for taking an oath to the people. But yet still, why do we got to keep being in favor of getting people to obstruct justice, bring us justice? This is what black people don't understand. We don't need their system it was based on tearing us and keeping us from our liberties, which we all know is happening now. And we got to watch those blood faces that they're putting in places that have the same ideology of these white officers to get a position. And God, I want to commend y'all again. And don't let them add nothing. Tell them how it is. And when you said they were trash, I call them garbage. And keep that word in your mind. And say it like it is. Don't add nothing to appease other people. We're the ones getting murdered and killed in this country. So keep doing what you're doing.
That's right. And you know, I need protection. You know, I agree with the thought. You know, and it's, you know, if it's time for us to get outraged about something, this is what we need to get outraged about, because we know the truth. We know the truth. And the truth's supposed to make us free. We ain't got to figure it out. We ain't got to sit up here and listen to them dumb us down like, you know, by the governor going on about his business. If it was you, if it was your loved one or your family member, you know, you wouldn't get away with it. So why should they get away with it?
Yes, indeed. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Kevin, he be calling the other radio station, and there's another station.
I think it's the Jim Instrick show.
Okay, that he calls and asking them about. Well, the Governor John Bell Edwards is on every Wednesday or Thursday or whatever the deal, and they refuse to accept his call. They refuse to accept his call, and that's the reason why. But I also wanted to say that I asked when we had a Black Caucus meeting right there in Lafayette at the convention center. I asked them what is going on with the Ronald Green murder case, and why isn't anything we hearing what's going on? And the gentleman told me that, oh, well, you know, we still investigating it, but it takes money to do an investigation, and we finally got $100,000 to continue the investigation. So my next question was that, well, you just got the money, but an investigation is part of your findings anyway. Why you got to get a special amount of monies to investigate what you've seen on tape? You're right.
Right. You know, and you know, my heart really go out to Ronald Green's mother, and his family, because you know they're suffering for justice. You know, it's nothing worse than somebody to lie about something when you got all the evidence and all the proof. You don't need no money to investigate. You know, that's the kind of stuff they want to dumb us down on. You know, lock these people up. You know, John Bell Edwards knew that the black vote was going to put him back in office. That was his reason why he knew about that video back in May of 2019. The election was in October. He knew he needed the black vote to win. But this was a black man that was murdered on video by 5 white police officers. And all of them covered it up. They knew what they were doing. So we don't need no money to investigate. Right now, the only thing we need is some orange jumpsuits and some handcuffs to put them in jail for what they did. Not no paid vacation. Not no wasting the taxpayers' money to go to trial. You know, yeah, maybe we do need to go to trial because we need all of it. And my grandmother said, let it all hit the fan. Because this ain't the only death by police officers here in the state of Louisiana. This is just the one that they got caught on.
That's right.
And Mr. Burns,
that's right.
Louisiana State Police is charged with investigating local shooting, whether they're justifiable or whatever, in local law enforcement jurisdiction. Given the state of questionable issues with the Louisiana State Police, I don't know what's your finding. Should they continually be allowed when they have some serious cases of just so-called justifiable or skeptical shootings in local jurisdiction? That is a troubling aspect of having the Louisiana State Police investigate everything, Mr. Burns.
I think you're making an excellent point, and I'm sure that issue will probably come to the forefront in the most recent incident over in Bogalusa involving a gentleman named Mr. Nelson. And I think your point is well taken. If they're this strong about covering up something that's just within their own agency, what would cause you to believe that they would do any differently for an outside agency such as the Sheriff's Department? And I do want to say one other thing with regard to the point of the Legislative Black Caucus and the investigation. One of the biggest problems that have impeded this investigation is that John Bel Edwards will not show up at the special committee investigating the death of Ronald Green and testify. When they asked him to testify at the last meeting, he had a ribbon cutting for a new highway over in the New Iberia, that general area. We'll never know if that didn't get scheduled after the date that the committee meeting was, so that there would be a conflict. So the committee, from what I'm told, has turned the tables back on him and said, look, you just tell us what day works for you, and we'll schedule the committee meeting then. And to my knowledge, he's not responded to that at all. So,
Robert, could you speak also to the fact, Robert, about them? Okay, they did not do anything about these officers, and I hope you can name them, that went off and did the same thing over again. You know, by them covering it up, it allowed these road officers to go and harm somebody else.
That's right.
Well, yes, there were two other. I mean, Ronald Green gets all of the attention because he died, but you also had Antonio Harris and you had Aaron Bowman, all within a matter of weeks, or in Antonio Harris's case, it may have been several months, but it was within a relatively short time frame. And it was with regard to the Antonio Harris matter. That's where you have about 5 troopers who openly texted one another in group text, bragging about what had transpired with Antonio Harris, saying things. I'll keep it as clean as I can to not jeopardize license, but you know, laughing my blank off. Oh, he's going to be sore tomorrow. He's going to have nightmares for sure. He'll never. I bet he never comes into the state of Louisiana again. And there was other profanity used that I can't repeat. You know, but if you're bold enough to text things like that on a system that LSD is recording, how emboldened are you? You know, so and to Sister Belinda's point, this last state police commission meeting, and I have videotaped every state police commission going back to January of 2017. That's the first one that I attended, and Danielle Harden, on only a few hours, that's Ronald Green's sister, with only a few hours of notice that Lieutenant John Clary and also Trooper Corey York were going to be looked at being placed on a suspension, quote, without pay, unquote. But I already knew that the big issue was going to be, okay, can they deplete their annual leave? And as Sister Belinda has referred to, an extended taxpayer-funded vacation. And so she flew from Orlando to New Orleans and then got a rental car because she wanted to state how emphatic she was that this is just not right. And in Lieutenant Clary's situation, he has 4,859 hours of annual leave, which is 2 years and 4 months. And he can now begin drawing the annual leave while the criminal matter in Union Parish plays out. And in the case of Corey York, his annual leave was only about 2,100 hours. So he'll have about a year that he can just draw the salary. And that's in sharp contrast, as Sister Belinda pointed out, to the recent situation in Memphis, where you had 5 police officers that they were all black, and so was the victim also black, but they didn't waste any time with them. They were gone. Bam, you're out of here.
Yes, we have a caller.
Caller, you have a question or comment? You're on.
Yes, I'd like to mention to the 2 people that's joining us today, I want to say this to you guys. I want you to talk about, like you just talked about, that paid time, that 2-year accumulated time that they have, that they can, that person or they can take off, you know, to be on leave and getting paid while the investigation is going on. My thing about this is, like y'all said, almost like, what is the need of an investigation? What is money needed for an investigation when you got all the facts right there? But here's my thing. Have you talked to the U.S. Justice Department since then in reference to this? What did they say? What are they saying? Or when will they say something? Because by now, the U.S. Justice Department should have been involved in this a long time ago, and we should have more information coming from them concerning the Ronald Green case in reference to, say, police involvement, etc. And one other thing I want to mention to y'all is to talk about this. You know, leadership seems like probably had a lot to do with this too, because when you are bolded, like you said, to make those statements, whether it was typed up, text up, or whatever, that means that you are not afraid of your superiors, because your superiors will probably have enough fear in you that they say, you do this, this will happen to you. You do that, Coach, it will happen to you. But when they don't have no fear for their superior, oh, and by the way, I think all their superiors all retired and they're all left.
Coach, you got 10, Coach, you got 10 seconds.
I'm done. I want those two callers to address what I just talked about.
All right, thank you. Did y'all hear what he was saying?
Yes, I got most of it. How about you, Sister Belinda?
Yes, I did.
And I don't know. I think y'all covered that under the.
Yeah, they covered it, and I don't know if he was listening to what she was saying before.
You know, what I want to say about that caller is that it's sad, because you know my heart go out to Ronald Green's family. You know, I'm very hurt over what's happening to Carl Cavalier and his family. And, you know, we keep on asking permission, you know, and whining and crying about what they should be doing and what they're not doing. You know, it's just time for us as a people to stop asking permission. It's time for us to demand justice for what these people have done wrong. We don't have to figure this out. It was caught on video. And we know all about what Carl Cavalier with his family, his life, and everything to expose. He didn't even hesitate to tell the truth about what these people were trying to do. And just like Robert just said, the governor is going out doing ribbon cutting ceremonies, but he should be locked up.
A caller?
So let's stop asking people, you know, well, what about this? And what about that? And who's doing this? And who's doing that? It's all of us. When you do nothing, you say nothing, you get nothing.
Yes, ma'am. Caller, you have a question or a comment. You're on.
I gotta give it to you. You're doing the right thing, because you're very passionate about it, and nobody can change your mind, and that's the way black people have to be, because we are the ones suffering. But I want to elaborate on that Black Caucus the guy had talked about. I remember last year on the radio station, Senator Gerald Boudreaux had a press conference, and they had John Bell Edwards to come out and call it racism, because none of these black guys could have said the word racism. And right there, you know, I saw that our Black Caucus was selling the black people out for the redistricting vote of John Bell Edwards, which he voted for, knowing these other white candidates was going to overturn it. And this is the thing that I keep saying about our black politicians and our so-called NAACP, how they play the game when there's media coverage, and then they see their people suffering with the oppression these legislators are putting on us, and yet still, because it's a job and they're making money, They want to be nice to these white guys, knowing these white guys' agenda is to destroy the black families. Look at our prison system. You know, we got Biden, and a lot of y'all still giving Biden all kind of credit, but it's 94, 95, 96 crime bill put more black children and broke up more black families in the prison situation right now. And because he hired more black people that he put in the room like they're some kind of slave to come out when it's a black on black, they cannot do nothing. And that's why I say we got to start our own system of justice and not have to get permission from these people, because if we learn our constitutional rights, they have violated all of them. Yeah. And it's up to us to bring this upon these people and not, like she said, not ask them, demand it, or we will stop participating in this corrupt system. Notice how all these black sheriff and police department only have 5 to 6 black officers. And they are considered to be resource officers. They don't put them in unit because why? They make money off the black communities by putting these ignorant white people. And if you do see some blacks on the scene, they're worse than the white people. So we got to put that in facts and make them adjust to what they say they were going to do. Protect and serve all the citizens.
Yes.
And keep doing what you're doing now. Again.
I appreciate that, caller. We need more people like you that can get your blood to boiling like that. Maybe we can get some more things done. You know, I certainly appreciate that, caller. And thank you for calling in.
And the telephone number is 337-534-0047.
Repeat it again, Sister Khadijah, because we have a number of callers calling by other lines, and we have phone lines. Be patient with us, callers.
534-0047. And you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg right here. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Because for me, when my grandson was murdered in Iberia Parish Jail under Sheriff Romero, and he went in supposedly for a lack of child support of $5,000, a lack of child support, and for a child that he was already taken care of. And at the same time, we had Representative Clay Higgins, I think, yeah. He owed over $187,000 in child support. But when you look at it, somebody that's getting ready to get out like Thursday, gonna commit suicide that Tuesday. And they bring the coroner together. The coroner is coincide with the sheriff with what the outcome that they wanted to say, and it was suicide. And they know their damn lie. They know that. They know that. They know that. The telephone number is 337-534-0047. We would love to get y'all to come down in Lafayette to AOC and let us do a segment. A 2-hour segment at AOC on the TV scene. Caller, you have a question or a comment? You are on. We are sorry the phone lines are so cold. They're so busy right now. You see, and that's where the problem is coming in at. But the telephone number is still 337-534-0047.
And also, we are live on cable TV in the Lafayette area, in the 5-parish area of South Louisiana, on AOC Community Media. That's Cox 15 and LUS 50 Channel 3.
Yes, caller, you have a question or comment? You're on.
Yeah, I got a Keith Falk concerned community activist. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning to Brother J, Sister Khadijah. I just wanted to chime in and say the Louisiana State Police has investigated many local officer-involved shootings that ended in death or possibly harmed citizens. And those shootings, most of those shootings were justified, being that the Louisiana State Troopers done the investigation for the Ronald Green case, for what they did with Ronald Green. How do we know that those officer-involved shootings that they said was justified is, how do we know that they was actually justified correctly? And I want to see about the community activist groups, the NAACP, the Village 337, all these community activist groups I think what we do is at the heat of the event, when it first happens, we go all out, protest, demand things to be done. Don't get it, then after a while we quieten up. Like the Trafer Pellerin shooting, killing. That shouldn't have never went away. It should be talked about every day, 24/7, 4 hours a day. That's one that the Louisiana State Police said was justified, and I really believe it's not justified. So our the activist groups and the activists need to get together and get on track and continue to demand that these cases be looked at and these cases really be justified the way it's supposed to be justified by law. And we also need to fight for the legislation to make it a capital murder crime when an officer uses excessive force or over abuses authority to take the life of another citizen.
You know, I would like to say something to that. Thank you, caller. But I would like to say that with the national NAACP president, you know, I'm not a betting person, but we came to a meeting, and Robert can tell you what our president of the NAACP said. You know, it's really sad that we put a lot of our faith and trust in, the NAACP, that right now with a fundraising organization, a grant chasing organization, and they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. So, that's the reason why Louisiana United International, we've been calling on a grassroots organization movement here in the state of Louisiana for Ronald Green and his family to get justice, and Carl Cavalier to get justice.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
We have to do it. We got to stop talking about what they doing, because, see, we know what they doing, nothing. It's about what we going to do. And that's why I'm really appreciated is Sister Khadijah and Brother Jay here is allowing us to have our voices heard on his show. And everybody out there that's listening should go to my website.
Yes.
Join up with us and support this great work, because we are the real deal that want the real change that people need to see.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Our
Caller,
lines are lighting up.
Caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
Yes, I have a comment, and I appreciate the guests on the show with the good information. So I just want to make the comment that there are only 39 senators in the state of Louisiana. One of them is Regina Barrow, who spent yesterday in the media pushing legislation to castrate child sex offenders when she should be working on this topic. There's also Katrina Jackson, who spends most of her legislative time trying to outlaw abortion. Both of those senators essentially work for the Republican Party and are working for Jeff Landry. So you have two people in the 39-seat Louisiana State Senate that should be working on this, and they are completely working for the Republican Party, trying to get more Republicans elected. They are abandoning justice. That's my comment.
Thank you, caller.
Wow. You heard
certainly
what he
has
said?
some diverse calls on the issues with, especially when it comes to Louisiana government.
Yes, caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on. Okay. Yes. And the phone lines are completely busy, and we're trying to get
Plus
to the
we
callers.
we have a difficult with our main numbers,
right,
so bear with us on that. This show.
534-0047.
You're listening to Miss Belinda Parker Brown, Louisiana United, if I got it right, and Mr. Robert Burns, Sound Off Louisiana. Some interesting blog. Both of the websites are interesting. Please check them out.
Yes. Caller, you have a brief question or comment. You're on.
Yes, can she give out her number and look and slow it down, because not everybody on computers and all that. I'm old school. Give me the phone number, and I would definitely be a member of y'all organization, because this is what we need. People that's not afraid to say what needs to be said, to save their own culture of people. And my gratitude to that good white guy who always giving us information on the other side of the whiteness. So give me that number, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate Robert Burns with Sound Off Louisiana. You know, he is a very powerful blog, and I'm hoping that he can give out his information, because everybody needs to go and read. He put a lot of our stories out for us, for the organization, because we have a hard time trying to get mainstream media to cooperate with telling the truth, you know, and putting the factual information out there. And that's what Robert do on his blog. He deal with the facts. He put the facts out there, and he don't, you know, he make the exact quote, you know. So that's what people need to know, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So Robert, would you speak to the fact that what the people need to know when it came to the NAACP president, how he bragged about his relationship with the governor?
Well, sure, I'll be happy to. And I was invited. It was a Zoom meeting, and I was graciously invited. And Mr. McClanahan, first of all, when Governor Edwards was introduced, I thought this got to be the biggest rock star ever, because, I mean, it was an incredible introduction. But as it progressed, I know that Sister Belinda raised her virtual hand to ask a question, and she was not permitted to do so, which I thought was disheartening. But as the meeting wrapped up, apparently the convention was going to take place a little later, and I believe it was on September the 16th, give or take, which happened to be John Bel Edwards' birthday. So he said he would be most delighted to come and attend the convention, especially since it was his birthday. And President McClanahan said, well, we're going to make sure we've got cake and ice cream for you. So it was a strong love affair, as Sister Belinda will attest to. And I'm not going to speak to the procedure that why she was not permitted to raise a question. I did read a comment that she made that I'm sure everybody could see on the Zoom meeting, and it said, well, gee, I had no idea that this entire meeting was going to be nothing but a cheerleading session for Governor Edwards. And
again, I want the people to know I voted for John Bel Edwards, you know, but when it comes to wrong, you know, my grandmother taught me wrong is wrong and right is right. And at this time, we knew that if, you know, and I like I say, I'm not a betting person, but the NAACP president, there is a strong possibility that he knew something about the cover up with Ronald Reagan's death too.
Interesting.
Your telephone number. How do someone get in touch with you all? With your telephone number
and contact website.
And contact website, please.
Well, for mine.
Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, for mine, it's very simple. It's soundoffla.com. And as Sister Belinda pointed out, it is a video blog. I tried to make as much of it as video as possible. That way, as she just said, there's no potential for a misquote. And the video speaks very loudly, and it captures the emotion. I just did a feature involving a young lady named Kimberly Burbank, as well as her father, Ron Wright, and they are asserting that her uncle has just been convicted when they firmly are convinced he's innocent, and they're attacking a DNA process and also inconsistencies of the so-called ballistics expert from the Louisiana Crime Lab, which is part of state police. So that was about a 30-minute interview or so, where they do 99 or 94% of the talking. I try to just let people. That's why it's called Sound Off Louisiana. It gives you the chance to sound off. And I'm here to tell you, if there's one person that really knows how to sound off, it's Sister Belinda Parker Brown. I think she's proven that on this show today.
Yes.
Well, I certainly appreciate you, Robert. And again, thank you, Brother Jay and Sister Kadisha. I really, get my blood to boiling here because, I'm just a simple person that just speaks the truth and let the chips fall where they may. We are a national, international, global organization. We in 19 different states, 7 different countries. We also have some very strong, powerful connections in the United Nations when it comes to human rights violations. So I would love for people to join up and support this great work that we're doing. You can go to our website at www.LA, stand for Louisiana United International. It's spelled out, Louisiana United International. Our headquarters is based in Slidell. You can also call me at 985-503-0626. That's 985-503-0626.
And we'll be sure to give out the information also on our show notes that we give out in our bulletin. We got another caller?
Yes, caller. Go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Sister Khadijah. Good morning, Brother Jay, and good morning to the guests.
Yes.
On the phone. Everything I'm sitting up here listening to, I'm Wallace Senegal with the Community Matters Show. We have a Community Matters Show on Friday.
Yes.
From 10 to 11. On AOC, the Community Media Show. With Brother Jay, the director. Hey, look here. Everything you guys are saying, y'all are telling it just the way it is. And this is what's happening to us, We don't have enough people that have strong enough backbone, strong enough wisdom, to come out and bring the things that you guys are bringing out. My biggest problem is when a police officer gets reprimanded for something, he gets reprimanded with pay, and that's giving him, far as I'm concerned, a license to do what he want to do. I'm going to get paid and won't have to do nothing, So the thing of it is, I think we should try to figure out how to get these police officers that's doing wrong off duty without pay. And I guarantee you, a lot of things that's going on within the police department is going to go away because they're not going to get paid. And if they get suspended for 3 months or something like this here, they ain't got no way to support themselves. So long as we keep giving them passes, and I understand about the Black Caucus and stuff like this here, they're all trying to put themselves in a position to help themselves and their family, but they're not helping the people that voted for them. I thank you guys for all that y'all are doing. I commend y'all for doing and saying what y'all saying because people need to hear this. You don't hear it, you don't know it. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Sister Khadijah, Brother Jay, keep up the good work, and we're going to follow up with it.
All right, thank you too.
Thank you. And we running out. We got another little short segment coming up with Miss Rosalind Bob of New Iberia, so we want to kind of wind it down. Again, any closing thoughts that you want to share with the people in the Lafayette area?
You go first, Sister Belinda.
Yes, I appreciate that last caller. He's absolutely right. Again, It's not about what they're going to do. It's about what we're going to do. And if you call my number at 985-503-0626, and if you don't get me, don't take it personal. I am busy. Just keep trying until you get me. Because we also have a national organization that's called the Black is Back Coalition. And it's a coalition of organizations all across the country that are grassroots organizations that is no offense to any other race or nationality or culture. It's all about we as Black people in America, we deserve the same respect as any other race. And the only way we're going to get that is we unite, come together. Listen, people, we have to do this. They don't intend to do anything for us. We have to do this as a people for our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. And we can do it because we're already winning, and people are speaking up just like on Brother Jay's show here today and Sister Khadijah. It's allowing us the opportunity to have our voices heard as Black people in America. We have to do this for ourselves and our future generation.
We got a last caller.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm sorry, sister. We got another caller.
Caller, you have a brief.
They insist on talking to you guys.
Good morning.
Good
this
morning.
is Miss Frida from Generator. I was just calling to say thank you guys for being on the program this morning. Y'all gave so much information. And thank you, Brother Jay and Sister Khadijah, and also Mr. John Freeman for having y'all on, because I don't think there's too many programs that y'all can go on and speak all y'all spoke today, all the truth. So I want to thank y'all for coming on today and giving all that information. And God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you so much, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you too, my sister.
Go ahead.
You mean for me to
I'm
wrap
going to go
up?
ahead, Robert.
Robert, go ahead,
Okay,
Robert.
well,
I got to jump off. I'm getting calls.
Yeah, because our line
you.
is lighting up, and we out of this segment. We getting off with the segment.
I understand. Well, I just want to thank for being such gracious host. It was an honor to be on the show, and I know that I said quite a bit with regard to Governor John Bel Edwards, but I think we need to bear in mind that we have a current candidate for governor, namely our Attorney General, Jeff Landry.
Oh, Lord.
And he is the one who has the say. I think it needs to be pressed with him. He is the one who has the say about whether or not there can be an effort to force this settlement down Carl Cavalier's throat. I'm sorry, but that's what they're doing. They're trying to force this down his throat.
Wow.
And so I think that it would be a good idea to hold him accountable and say, why are you so adamant that he not have a chance to have his hearing to see about getting his job back? Why are you so adamant on insisting that he just take this $200,000 and go away? So that'll be my concluding remark, because I didn't want to make this appear like this was all just attack John Bel Edwards. Jeff Landry holds quite a bit of culpability on where things stand with Carl Cavalier as well. So.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we also want to promote Carl Cavalier's GoFundMe. Just go to his, you can Google my name, Belinda Parker Brown, and his GoFundMe link is on the top of my Facebook page, and donate if it ain't but a cup of coffee. Everybody needs to be giving and supporting this young man. He's a great young man. He's a good officer, and I appreciate you guys once again.
Yes,
and Mr. Robert, the only way to reach you is through www.la.untitled.
Yes, I reached him. I'm gonna give you that
information. What's his number? I need his number.
I don't have an exact number right now.
I don't mind giving out. I don't mind giving out my number, and it's also on the website. Anybody can contact me. But my telephone number is 225 235 4346.
Okay, you're definitely gonna hear from me. All right.
Well, I look forward to that.
And you too, Belinda, Sister Belinda.
And invite us to come back to the show because
I want y'all
I
on TV. We want y'all on AOC.
We got a television program in the 5 parish area that we have I think we should have some great input with the station, so you guys will be welcome there also.
And with Extreme Live, we're gonna get the dates together for y'all to come on a
That
Saturday.
sounds great.
love for you guys
That
to
sounds
invite,
great,
you
and
know,
I'll tell you,
Carl
if you
Cavalier too as well.
Yes, well, he was on before too.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
great.
If you think Sister Belinda Brown can sound off over radio, just wait till you see her with a camera going.
Wow.
All right, now that's my sister.
Thank you, my sister, and thank you, Mr.
We
Burns.
love y'all and appreciate you so much. Bye
All right,
now.
and thank you so much. Call it there. You have a brief question or a comment? You got 15 seconds.
Good morning. I'll call back.
Oh no, you could.
That's Miss Bob. Stay on the line, Miss
Stay
Bob.
on. We wrapped up with our other
Okay, thank you,
fantastic
caller.
guests.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
I'll hold on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank y'all so much. The phone lines are busy. We want to thank our fantastic guests, Mr. Robert and Miss Sister Belinda. And you could reach Miss Belinda Parker Brown at www.la.untitledinternational.
United International.
No. Oh, United International. Okay. And that telephone number is 985-503-0626. And Mr. Robert is with Sound Off Louisiana video blog, and his number is 225-235-4346. Thank y'all so very much. Okay, Miss Bob, we're on.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry about that.
It's okay, no problem.
We have some interesting guests, and we want to get them on. But we know you are a good community supporter of this radio station, and I know you have some good information also.
Yes, and I just want to thank y'all for everything. First, giving honor to God, who's the head of all of our lives. And here we are. Okay, here we are still years later. Our children dying in the communities. Now we had 14 and 15-year-olds dying.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're going unsolved. And what the parents is not understanding, after you bury your child, you need to stay on, find out who's the detective. Stay on them. We have so many unsolved murders in Liberia. We have murderers. As a matter of fact, I saw one the other day, just to say that they're out there. And from what I understand, once you kill one, it's easier to kill again. And I don't think it's fair. We're not getting the justice that we deserve. I've been in this thing for 8 years now. And it's like it's time for something to be done. My son was murdered 17 years ago, and I had to get out and get justice for him. Yes, but now things are different, But once you bury your child and all the hurt and all the pain, they're gonna have to learn to keep up with the case, find out what's going on. Because guess what? Justice has to be served, and that's why we have so many unsolved murderers, because people not doing what they have to do to get these people caught.
Well, when you say people not doing what they have to do,
and you know what? First of all, the police ain't gonna do nothing because it's black on black crime. So my thing is, the best thing to do is to get out there, find out who the detective is on the case. If you have to go every day, if you have to call every day, you need to contact them. They wait till years later. Then they decide they want justice. If you handle your business right afterwards, you have a better chance. We got to stop letting our kids get murdered and then just let it go. No, don't let it go, because guess what? We the ones with the broken heart the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And here we are now, 17 years later since my son was murdered. Here it is, 14 and 15-year-olds getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
Children killing children.
Now, Miss Bob, Sister Bob, is it the amount of access to weapons and deadly weapons, not just any ordinary Saturday night special. We remember back in the day, gun 38 caliber. It's these automatic long guns that are doing the most of the damages in these communities. What do you think, in your opinion, that these guns, how these guns, people are getting access to these guns?
And that's what I wonder. And on Saturday, we're going to be getting out at 11 o'clock at the Bunk Johnson, praying for the community. I'm asking everybody to come out. And this is one of the questions I've invited the mayor and so many other public officials to come, because I wonder where these kids getting these guns from.
Well, we know that much. They're not getting it. Well, the echo's coming.
Yeah, ask Ms. Bob to lower her.
Miss Bob, can you lower your radio?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
No, that's okay. I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah, but I just don't understand. How are these kids getting these guns? They coming from somewhere.
Yeah, they're coming from somewhere. From people that's leaving their car unlocked. With these weapons available, they can't register to purchase the weapon. You don't have that type of money.
Well, these long guns, it's not. I don't think any ordinary parent would carry that around in their car. I think it's more of some type of supply line with these type of guns hitting the street. Do you see those guns that they are doing the damage with in these major cities around the country?
Yes. Yes, and you know another thing. I know we attended the opening grand opening for the new facility at the parish at the jail, dealing with Sheriff Romero, and I'm just getting lost right up in here.
Law Enforcement Center.
Yeah, the new Law Enforcement Center. One in Iberia Parish, $1.6 or $1.7 million. Paid clear. You hear me? Paid clear. Our parish councilman said, well, you know, we paid for this, so we don't have any more money to give anything out. But then why would you go ahead and give $1.7 million, trust me, to a facility that was already there? Half of the furnitures came already there, gorgeous furniture, and so that these police officers, these so-called upscale detectives such as Smith, who was one of the ones that was involved in the killing of Victor White Jr., got his own office in charge of internal affairs. You know, why would we just, why do they just continuously steal the taxpayers' money like if there's no repercussion from that? You got that jail over there, that jail. You got that jail facility on Broken Arrow. That stuff is deplorable. It's disgusting. But no, let's go ahead and make the sheriffs more comfortable. Miss Bob, and we got trouble with the lines. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's okay. But you know what? God sit high, and he looked low. And the people that then kill people and walking around and then done things, they think they're getting away with it. But I'm telling you, it's real. And our kids are dying, and it's just a sad thing. Y'all better, and they don't like about teaching them at home. Well, it starts at home from little babies. When they're little, if they're not right, you still have enough time to break them and bend them and make them to what you want to do. You know, a lot of parents know what's going on with their children. You understand? Because me as a parent, I know what I've had to go through with mine. You understand? So it's real out there, and it's not a game. And if you want justice, you better stay on them.
Tell us more about the event on. You got a praying for the community. Is that today or that's over the weekend?
Saturday. On Saturday, November the 28th at 11 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be on Hopkins Street at the Bunk Johnson. And I'm asking all pastors, ministers, bishops to come out. And let's pray for our community. Prayer changes condition, you know. And it may seem that it's not going to get better, but when everybody come on one accord, God could do the impossible. and I know he could do it. Continue to pray for your children. Plead the blood of Jesus over them. Every time they leave, when they're in the house, take that holy oil and put it on them. They don't even have to know that you're anointing them, because the devil is busy. And when he knows that we're of Christ, he coming to the one that we love the most. And usually that's our children. And I had to understand that, you know. And another thing, that Psalm 91, a lot of y'all don't want to hear it, but that's a powerful prayer for protection. Read it every day. Because when you're working for Christ, the devil is mad. And he will try to attack you. I've had to go through all kind of attacks on my job and everywhere, but I bet you I'm still standing because of God's grace and his mercy. And and you know what? When you ask him to show you, you're right in your face.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And I thank him, because I don't want to ever be left in the blind about nothing, Sister Khadijah, y'all, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
So pray for our community. Pray for our children.
We pray all the time.
Family.
Yes. And
yeah, they have to.
Right. And the callers can't call in the line because we only have one line. But two of them then call on my on the cell phone. Caller, you have a question or a comment? You're on.
Yes, I want to commend Miss Bob.
How you put it up?
But I want you to stay like this, Miss Bob, when you run for political.
You could. I don't know if she could hear you.
I could hear you. I could hear you. It's about the community. It's about our children. They dying in the streets, and that's what my main focus is right now. And I'm not concerned about running for no city council, nothing, because you know why? Life Greek non-profit ministry. Besides God and my family, that's what comes first in my life. And I've been helping people with broken hearts for years and years.
Yes.
And I continue as long as God gives me the strength. Okay. You know, sometimes I'm at work, I have calls all day, people calling for prayer, and things was going on, and I'm trying to send them to the right person. And, you know, it's not easy when you're living for Christ.
Okay.
That's why, I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and the guy that you mentioned, Freddie DeCurry, and a lot of these other guys that I remember at the community town meeting that we invited them to come stop the killing 2 years ago, that's a waste of time inviting the mayor, the sheriff, and the police chief, who are all working together to make sure that there is no investigation on the black-on-black crime. I remember when Sheriff Ackler said that he was going to let the street clean the street. Tommy and Miller have the same idea. Because if you notice, there's no black officers in the black neighborhoods. They're all back there for the sheriff department in the prisons. But the first thing we got to understand, yeah, we can pray, but we got to understand what we're praying for, because our children doesn't see a God like we see him, because they're the ones suffering. And their parents don't have the ideas that they need to give their children the benefits of ideas.
Okay, Troy. Okay, Bump. I think I don't know if you heard him, Miss.
No, what did he say?
Yeah.
I could barely understand it.
Yeah. Well, he was saying in all actualities that the certain people that you're inviting to come out, like the mayor, the sheriff, some of the councilmen, they are some of the same ones that don't care about what's going on in the community and everything like that.
You know what? It doesn't even matter if they don't show up. As long as God is there and these people leave with more than they done came with, I'm satisfied. It's not about me. It's not about the mayor. It's not about the city council people. It's about God and bringing our relationships closer together and trying to help our children that's struggling, you know? And that's my main purpose. And it's not for no fashion or show, you know?
Yeah,
for our children, to help our kids.
And Ms. Bob.
Dining.
And Ms. Bob, I saw the young lady on the local media this morning. She lost her child, a young man. And that's the major part of these things. And you know, I applaud you, because we got to deal with grief. Now, we could talk about all the other stuff, the guns and all that, but the aftermath of the people.
That's the thing.
That is the thing. That's the stuff that destroyed more
and
lives.
It's a struggle forever.
Yeah.
You don't ever get over it, but you learn to deal with it.
Yeah.
Now, don't wish it on nobody. You know, and to see how our little teens dying and getting killed now is such a sad thing.
And then
That's
leave
why
the
we
parents left and the family left to grieve. And a lot of young people are having to deal with mental illness because they're angry because someone they love got killed. And this is the domino effect of something negative that keep falling on the community and we don't see it, you know?
And exactly. I have a son that's 20 years old. He was 3 when my son got murdered, and he was out there on my hip that night. And we were standing there watching my son bleed to death, you know. And from that, years later, he's quiet. You know, he have a family, but he just, you know, it makes a change in your life. And I'm thinking at that age, you know, oh, he'll be okay. But no, it causes a heartache forever, you know. So people think, you know, that it's easy, and it's not. And if you don't know Christ, I promise you, it's not for sure that you're gonna make it. Because I almost had a nervous breakdown, and a nervous breakdown is easy for anybody. So without prayer, I wouldn't be standing here. I know that God had work for me to do for His children, and I'm gonna work while it is day. Because when nighttime comes, no man can work. And I just want to thank y'all for years. Y'all have supported me, you know. And I thank y'all because prayer, we need prayer.
And that's going to be this coming Saturday.
At 11 o'clock at the Bunk Johnson on Hopkins, across from the fruit stand. And we asking all pastors and ministers of the gospel to come out. I have several speakers. I have one girl, she done had 2 children murdered, you know, and she said it's time for me to let them know that the pain lasts forever. Now that's something, I done lost one, and it hurts so bad, so I can't even imagine losing 2.
Oh, yes.
And we have several guest speakers, we have dancers, we're going to have singers, and just make it a morning of prayer. We're not going to keep everybody long, maybe about an hour or so.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I can't give up now, you know.
Oh, no.
I done came too far. And I know that God needs me, and I need Him to do His work, because I can't do it on my own. So I just feel if I could help somebody along the way, I know it won't be in vain, you know.
Oh, yes, it's not.
To keep Black Free Prophet Ministry.
Go ahead, Miss Bob.
Time job. And I'm still trying to help people. So y'all keep me uplifted as I try to do God's work.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that's going to be this coming Saturday, right there at the Bunk Johnson Park. That's off on Hopkins Street in New Iberia, Louisiana. It started at 11 o'clock and by 12.
It's not limited to just the people in New Iberia. It's limited to
it's for everybody, all the community.
people in Lafayette.
Lafayette, Opelousas, poor Opelousas really getting it. Lafayette getting it, you know. So I pray for everybody, you know. For anybody that needs prayer to come out and pray for ourselves, pray for the community, and let God lead us and guide us, you know.
Yes, and the Bunk Johnson Park, is there going to be some type of provision if the weather is bad or
and
not?
The weather's supposed to be nice. And with the help of God, because it should be like in the 60s.
Oh, yes.
So we're not really looking for rain, you know.
Yes.
So keep us uplifted, y'all. And I'm going to try to continue to do God's will in His work, you know. It's not easy, and I just didn't realize when you're working for Christ, you better be ready, and you better know what you're doing.
Yes.
Because the attacks coming back to back to back, and I thank God for my husband, Taylor Bob. He's been there. When I make one step, he makes another step, you know. And when you have that support behind you, especially as my husband, it makes it even better, and it makes it easier.
Yes, it do.
You know.
Yes.
So I just want to thank y'all for everything, and I'm sorry I couldn't come in this morning, and I just appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for everything.
Thank you so much.
And we thank you so much.
Yeah, and if y'all able to come out on Saturday, please let Miss Bernadette.
Miss Deanie, yes, a.k.a.
Yeah.
Miss Deanie, yes.
Please let Miss Dee know, y'all, because if y'all come out, Khadijah, I'd like y'all to say some words too. We all in this together.
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna do our best. Yes, ma'am. Can I bring my video camera? Yeah.
Much love to everybody and all the different communities, and just keep praying. Keep praying for your children.
Yes, and Sister Bob, Reverend Johnson asked that you give him a call.
Reverend Johnson.
Yeah.
Wilford Johnson.
Yeah, Reverend Johnson asked that you give him a call. You have his.
Yeah, I'm gonna text it to her.
Yeah, text it to me, bro, please.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. And we want to.
All right. I love y'all and thank y'all for everything, and have a blessed day. You hear?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Thank y'all so kindly.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Bye-bye. Thank you. I know one thing. You know, I found God some years ago. I didn't know much about God back then, where they were, but
so that means you're gonna be a little bit nicer.
No, God didn't say nothing about being nice.
So you know. More of a fire and brimstone person?
Right. Something like that.
I know. I feel the fire every time I walk in here.
Yes.
When you here.
Yes. And
yeah. Like you throwing some negative vibes.
No, I was
positive vibes.
No, I was just trying to throw some positive vibes.
Okay, people.
So
surely I kid her. Great show, Sister Khadijah, with Miss Belinda Parker Brown. I thought you were off the chain activist, but. Wow,
I'm thinking that's really my biological sister. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So we are out of here.
Yes, ma'am. So we're gonna close with some New World Order from Curtis Mayfield.